Hello everyone, Sarja back at it again, and today we'll be opening up the 5th structure deck for Battle Spirits Saga, Verdant Wings. And well, following the release of the second booster set, False Gods, we are introduced to the color green, which got its structure deck here, and well, with the color itself, as well, seen in other card games with this color, green focuses on resource ramping, and with Battle Spirits Saga, and well, another Bandai comparison would be Digimon. As well, another aspect is Spirit Exhaustion. Well, cracking into the structure deck itself, opening from the bottom, since I don't have a knife on me. Yep, as we got the usual spiel, playmat, soul core and regular cores, and now the deck itself. And then finding seal. There you go. And for the context of this, the A Spirit for this deck would be Rooster Zodiac Emperor Gale Phoenix at 2 copies. And fun fact enough, Gale Phoenix also comes from a post series, sorry about that. Battle Spirits era format that we didn't get here in the West. Well, on the international release, really. As Gale Phoenix actually comes from a line of cards being based on the Chinese Zodiac. With that series of cards actually having a special ability with the soul cores called sealing, in which the soul core would essentially be added to the life, triggering some pretty powerful effects, though at the cost of any soul core related effects. Now, here with Gale Phoenix, its level 1 and 2 are during either attack steps, when this spirit or one of your spirits with Swift destroys one of your opponent's spirits via comparing DP, select one of your opponent's spirits and exhaust it, which plays into the secondary aspect of pretty much control through exhaustion. And then its level 2 and 3 effects, pretty much when this spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's spirits and exhaust it, which is a little bit of a callback to its original self. Then we have Emerald Greatbird Aldeed at 3 copies. Its level 1 and 2 effect when summoned allows you to select one opponent's spirits and exhaust. And then its level 2 effect when attacking is place a core from the void into the reserve, which is pretty much the ramping side of things. Then 3 copies of Leafbeak Toucan, which is a vanilla. 3 copies of Viscount Minoba, which has the flash effect of Swift, allowing it to be played by paying the cost, and then obviously placing the core in order for it to pretty much be alive on field. Then we have Explosive Charger Brandvor at 3. And it's 1 and 2 during the attack step. When one of these spirits is summoned, the spirit gains 2000 DP during the turn, and its level 2 is when this spirit attacks or blocks, it refreshes itself when it destroys one of the opponent's spirits via BP comparison. So with the first effect, it pretty much is mostly aiming towards Swift effects, since that's the only way that effect actually triggers, making it a little bit situational. And then Leaf Wolf, which also has Swift. 3 Forest Quillbeast Porcupine. A 4 cost 2 reduction Vanilla. And then we got Verdant Dragon Rider Run. A 5 cost 2 reduction. Whose ability, who has a 1 destroyed by opponent, place 2 cores into the void from the void into the reserve, making a pretty powerful ramp that pretty much which has this ability at regardless of level. And then it's level 2 and 3. When attacking, when the battle ends, you may place 2 cores from the spirit into the reserve to select one of your spirits, and then that spirit gains plus 3,000 during the turn. Meaning that it has the power to pretty much ramp at the cost of its own level to pretty much power another on your field. Then we got 3 copies of Ant-Man Soldier, a 2 cost 1 reduction Vanilla, and then a 1 cost Capricorn, whose ability is during the opponent's attack step. At the start of the attack step, if it has the soul core on it, it places a core from the trash into your reserve, which ends up being a pseudo ramping, as it just simply recycles a core you've already used. Then we got 4 copies of Maten Gol, who has the 1 summon of exhausting itself to pretty much ramp 1 core. Then we got 3 copies of Sacred Tree Stump City for the Nexus, for its level 1 and 2 effect. During your attack step, the first spirit you control that attacks each turn gains plus 1,000 DP for each green spirit you control. So an effect that gives additional boost. And then its level 2 effect is during the opponent's attack step, draw a card when your opponent reduces your life. Essentially just being a very slower draw ramping. Then 3 copies of Airborne Crag. 1 and 2 during either attack steps. When the opponent's spirit is summoned, when one of your spirits is summoned, it gains plus 2,000. And then it's level 2, refresh any of your spirits with the soul core. It's sort of situational, given that, well, it's decently good. And then 4 copies of Savage Power for spells, 3 costs with 2 reductions. Burst condition of when the opponent destroys your spirit. And its burst effect allows you to summon a green card from hand by using cores from the reserve to pay the cost and obviously placing cores onto it. And then paying this, and then afterwards you get to pay it to just give the BP increase. And then get 4 copies of Needle Shot with the main and flash effect of selecting one of your opponent's spirits and exhaust. Essentially just being a quick exhaust. And then we round out with 3 copies of multiple cores, which has the burst condition of when your opponent resolves a spirit's 1 summon effect. This ends up with the burst effect being that it selects one of your opponent's spirits and exhausts it, and then paying the cost, and then you just select one of your spirits and place a core from the void onto it. Essentially ramping by pretty much adding onto one of your spirits. Overall, it's sort of a mix, another instance where the structure deck is pretty much a mix between what green does. As well, you have the Swift effects and then the core ramping, which it can go hand in hand, but it can be a little bit janky depending on the build. And well, in comparison, Gale Phoenix here is a shadow of its former self from the OCG. As well, Gale Phoenix was pretty much an aggressive beater to pretty much just constantly hit for face, while also constantly exhausting the opponent's spirits to prevent them from blocking, while making it hard for them to block in the first place. But overall, this has been my unboxing of the Battle Spirits Saga structure deck, Verdant Wings.